were to create a map of your community in London, which locations would you mark as significant?
Yeah, I love this question. I feel like for me, like, I mean, I would want to put like my home, like I feel like that, like where I grew up, because that for me was the most significant one growing up. I feel like I would also put Glamorous Touch on there because that's the hair salon that I've been to. And then I would also put Victoria Park because I feel like that's where a lot of the like Caribbean events are hosted. And I feel like, you know, when those events are hosted there, there's dancing, and it's just like, again, you get like the music and the dancing, and it's just like when that like atmosphere is created, it's so, I don't know, it takes you outside of the city, you know, you don't feel like you're in the same place. And then I think as well, like because I've heard more about like the other events that have been, that are popping up around the city, like Jerk Fest and also Island Fest, I would say, I think those ones are hosted at Covent Garden Market. So I would say the Covent Garden Market is probably like a space that I would put there as well. And I feel like I would also put down, like in terms of food, like United Grocery Store, because that's where we always got, like, if you're doing like seafood or you wanted like a really good spice, you go to United. And yeah, that was the one that was close to my house growing up. So that's where we always went. But I don't know, I've never really been to like a Caribbean specific grocery store in London, so I don't really know if there, I'm sure there is some. And then I haven't been yet, but there's also Braids and Wigs. And I'm excited because I think that's like, I've recently seen that one advertised more, so I don't know if it's new, but yeah. I'm trying to think. I mean, this might be a bit of a stretch, but like, you could also put Harris Park, because I know like Rock the Park has sometimes a hip hop night, and they'll have Caribbean artists that perform there. And I imagine like when the Caribbean artists are performing there too, they'd get a lot more interest from the Caribbean community. Yeah, those are the ones that I can think of. I guess, yeah, the one other place that I haven't mentioned too is, I guess, Western University. That is like one place for me that's been really relevant lately. And of course, with Black Academia, I have to shout that out too.
Shout out to Black Academia.
Yeah, shout out to Black Academia. And yeah, I feel like I've met more Caribbean community in London through Western than anywhere else in the city, for sure. But I also work here, and it's been since I've worked here, so yeah.
How do you and others that are involved in the Caribbean community here in London interact with non-Caribbean members?
That's an interesting question. I feel like it's like the first word that comes to my mind is kind of like the code switching. And I feel like I just grew up being used to that because I grew up in London, and then also like the majority of my family is not Caribbean. So yeah, because it's only on like one side. But yeah, it's a strange mix of like almost like not knowing when to share, and like when it's like a comfortable space to share in. But most of the time you're not being your true self if you're in spaces that aren't like with people that aren't like you. Like, I feel most comfortable when I'm with my family, like I'm being myself. And I just feel like, you know, whenever I'm with like the Caribbean community, it's just like there's more laughter. Just like it's like louder and just more relaxed. Yeah, and it's not as rigid, I find. Yeah.
Definitely. And what are some ways that you might have seen the Caribbean community engage with other communities, whether it's through events or cultural expressions?
I feel like, like going to Sunfest is like probably the first thing that pops into my mind because there's like such a big mix of people. Like that's where like, a lot of Caribbean people will come out to that event. But then also a lot of other people from all over the city come to that event. And so you just have like this mixing of like a bunch of different people in London. And it's always funny to like, it's always interesting to me to see, like especially if there's live performances, to see like what people are like up there dancing and just like gathering around the live performance. And it's interesting to see like, I don't know. I guess like I also think about food too.
Food is
So especially like in my partner's family, they're mainly German. And when I first met my partner and went there, they're like I was telling him about food that I ate, and it was always like, oh, that's so different. Like, and the spices too, right? Like it was like they don't like spicy food. I feel like spices and just like flavor is such a big part of, I don't know. It's like without that, I feel like food is so boring, But I feel like it's interesting to talk about food with other people who are not Caribbean because I think, yeah, they don't, it's, I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I feel like it's just less, like it's just, they're not as, I always feel like they're shocked by the food that I talk about that I ate growing up,
I see.